The sun and fun capital of the world, it's the Jackie Gleason Show. And away we go!
Oh, how sweet it is. I'm telling you. Oh, Sam. You're dressed tonight like you sound.
There he is, our orchestra leader, Sammy Spear. Take him on.
Sammy Spear and his circus band. I've heard some tricks being done in my day. But say, that's a form-fitting jacket, isn't it? You got the fit, but you haven't got the form for it. Sam and his orchestra last night had a recording session. They cut an LP, large pizza. It's a good band, though, Sam. I don't care how you sound. And now, could I have that newspaper, please? Oh, thank you. I've been reading the paper all day. I didn't have much to do. And, have you ever read a paper from start to finish, all of the stuff in there? Like the fillers they have, little things that they put in the paper so the column reaches the whole length of the page. Some very interesting information. Get a load of this here. Got a filler in here. For instance, did you know that 83% of the duck eggs laid in Inner Mongolia are exported to Outer Mongolia? Now, there's a piece of information everybody should have. I couldn't sleep nice unless I knew that. You know, you sit down and eat a Mongolian egg, you'd like to know where it came from. I like this, too. The classified column. Get a load of this. For sale, one slightly used power saw. Call Maine 2578 and ask for Lefty. Here's another one. Second-hand tombstone for sale. Tombstone. Second-hand tombstone for sale. Splendid bargain for family named Duffy.
And away we go!
God bless America.
The American people love Kate Smith so much, she received 25 million fan letters.
When the moon comes over, mountains,
She introduced 1,000 songs.
every beat.
Many young married couples with small children often avail themselves of the services of a babysitter when they go out for an evening. However, problems sometimes arrive when the babysitter invites some of her friends over to while away the time dancing and playing music. We recently visited the home of a young couple in Scarsdale, New York, where a babysitter was starting her evening's work.
sweetie.
What's in that box, Arthur?
Oh, I almost forgot. I was rummaging around, in the bottom of my dresser drawer. I was looking for a corn plaster. And I ran across this. Here you are, hon.
Oh, saltwater taffy.
Cut to fit to kiss it.
It's my favorite candy. Well, Here, Arthur, have a piece.
Oh, all right. How about that? There's the corn plaster I was looking for.
It's delicious, Arthur.
Good exercise, too.
Agnes? Agnes, I just thought I'd warn you. The fire department was around this afternoon, and they're getting awful strict about blocking entrances and exits.
Well, don't worry, Papa. If anything happens, we can move.
Do you know how long it would take to move a half a ton of lard?
Look what Arthur brought me.
Oh, how nice. A cardboard box?
Tell him there's candy in it.
Papa, it's saltwater taffy. Here,
Oh, that's so nice.
have a piece. It's very good.
Saltwater taffy, a whole box full. He must have done awful good at trick-or-treat this year.
Your old man should talk about Halloween. He better pull his head in out of that window and somebody will stick a candle in it. What's that book you got?
Oh, it's a book by Emily Post.
What is it, a murder mystery?
Well, no, it's about etiquette and manners and things like that. Oh, it's a wonderful book, Arthur.
What do you mean, it teaches you manners?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, Agnes, but I don't go along with it. I figure manners is a thing you gotta learn when you're a kid, Like in our family. We learned it in our upbringing when we were little youngsters. I can remember my old man. On the hottest day in the summer, if any one of us kids came to the table without his undershirt on, bang! We got a pail of beer right in the face.
And here's something that I never knew either, that if a girl and a boy are going steady, and they go steady for a long, long time, and then they break up, well, the girl should give back all the presents that the man has given her through the years.
It sounds fair and square. I go along with that.
Well, Arthur, I know that we'll never break up, but just in case that we do, there's one thing that you gave me that I couldn't bear to part with. It's that stuffed alligator with the clock in his stomach. I just love that.
Agnes, no matter what happens to us, you can keep the stuffed alligator.
Agnes! Agnes!
What is it?
If you're going down to the corner, will you drop by the drugstore and get me some denture cement?
What happened, Papa?
That saltwater taffy is the first thing the sport gave me in 14 years, and I broke my plate on it.
I want to tell you something. Remember this and keep it close to your heart. No matter what. No matter what happens to you and I, if we have a fight, some kind of an argument, some kind of a beef, remember this. You keep the alligator.
the luckiest girl in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the original fiddler on the roof, because his father wouldn't let him play in the house. Here he is, Henny Youngman.
I don't know how I get along, but I happen to get along pretty good, and this is my pal. You see this fiddle? I studied with Jack Benny. We studied with Nero, you know. And tonight, Sammy Spear, who's non-recording officer, will accompany me. Sammy, my introduction, please. Hold up, man. Walks into a Chinese restaurant. He says, give me all your money. The guy says, to go? You show me a web that's crooked, and I'll show you a cockeyed spider. You know, once I wanted to become an atheist, I gave it up. They have no holidays. Flash, folks, Jack the Ripper was never killed. He's doing my shirts. Remember this, folks. No man should go to work who has the strength to lie in bed. You hear about the karate expert who was drafted into the army? First time he saluted, he killed himself. You know, kids today are going to psychiatrists. Woman takes a kid up to a psychiatrist. She says, can a boy 10 years old marry Carol Baker? He says, ridiculous, impossible. The mother says to the kid, see what the doctor says? Go get a divorce.
Dirty true true da da da. See whoop. La da. Huh? Oh, it's been one of those days, you know. I'm telling you, people are going nuts. Guy walks in here a little while ago. He says, let me have 10 martinis. I said, at once? He says, yeah, line them up. So I make 10 martinis, and I put them down on the bar. The guy drinks the second one. He doesn't touch the first. Drinks the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, seventh one, eighth one, ninth one, and leaves the 10th. Now, he's just about to walk out. I said, pardon me, buddy. You ordered 10 martinis. I'd like to know why you didn't drink the first and the last one. He says, well, I can't stand the taste of the first, and the last one always makes me sick. Oh, he's in the back. I'll call him out. Hey, Craig!
Hey, Joe. Hello, Mr. Johnny. Hey, Joe, what has 6 wheels, a purple nose, swims backwards to keep the water out of its eyes, and sometimes it rains on Thursday?
I don't know what has purple nose, swims backwards Thursday with the water.
I don't know either. I just make up the riddle. Hey, Joe, Donnie Dollison is back in the hospital again.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was wrong?
He swallowed a quarter.
He went to the hospital just for swallowing a quarter?
Yeah, it was all in pennies. Joe, you missed the annual convention of the Smiling Sons of the Friendly Shillelaghs. What a time we had, Joe. We held it at the Royal Hawaiian Alomi Alalula Keala Honolulu and Lanny Hotel in Newark, New Jersey. What a time we had. Gaylord Farquhar's uncle is the house detective. He's known as Tippy-Toe Farquhar. Gaylord Farquhar made all the hotel arrangements because his uncle introduced him to the manager. And Gaylord says to the manager, "Hey, I want to ask you something. You still have that busted elevator? The last time I was here, there was a busted elevator here. It used to go halfway down the elevator shaft." The manager said, "Don't worry about it. The elevator's been taken care of. Now it falls all the way down the shaft." Gaylord says, "And what about that noisy shoe factory next door with all that hammering going on?" The manager says, "Don't worry. That's very, very quiet these days. Now they're manufacturing sneakers." I want to ask you, how about some rates for the Smiling Sons of the Friendly Shillelaghs? I want some good rates. The manager says, "Well, we have 3 convention rates. $5, $10, and $12. Gaylord says, "What's the difference?" The manager says, "Well, for $5 we give you a room. For $10 we throw in breakfast. For $12 we bring in the breakfast on a tray."
Being a little strong for Donahue now.
Okay, Joe.
Donahue, put it down to number 16.
Heart of my heart, I love that melody. Heart of my heart, brings back fond memories. When we were kids on the corner of the street, we were rough and ready guys, but oh, how we could harmonize. Heart of my heart, men friends were dearer then. Too bad we had to part. I know a tear would glisten if once more I could listen to that gang that sang Heart of My Okay, Joe.
See you next week, Mr. Donahue. sun and fun capital of the world, it's the Jackie Gleason Show. And away we go!
My evening has been spoiled. Ladies and gentlemen, our orchestra leader, Sammy Spear. Take it off. Oh, you're a baby doll in that. You look like a pound and a half of the low-price spread. That's an imported jacket, you know. It's made in Hong Kong. Entirely woven from Chinese punk. Sam, if I said anything to offend you, you know it's all in seriousness. Sam and I are good friends. I went over to his house the other night, and he's got a teenage daughter, and she was running a pajama party. Now, do you know what that is? A pajama party is where they all put on pajamas, like she invites all of her teenage girlfriends over to her house. And they arrive in pajamas. And they sit around and they talk, you know, and they have cocoa and cookies and sandwiches. And then at the end of the night, they all sleep on the floor. And they get up in the morning and they have breakfast and they go home. This is a big deal, you know. We never had pajama parties when I was a kid. That's all I know. First of all, we didn't have pajamas. That's for starters. We were lucky if we had underwear. Imagine a BVD party. During the party, his daughter walks up to me. They're all dancing. See, they're listening to records and doing all the dances, like the Frug and the Slop and the Watusi and the mashed potatoes. And his daughter walks up to me. She says, "Do you do the mashed potatoes?" I said, "I can't." She says, "Why?" I said, "Too much mashed potatoes."
And now, Reginald Van Gleason III will create his famous miracle sauce. The recipe for this sauce is known only to Mr. Van Gleason, and therefore will be prepared in utmost secrecy.
The telephone company has done everything possible to make things easier for its subscribers. Every city has its own classified directory, with their slogan being, you can find it in the yellow pages. Let's see how this works.
Trout-a-trout-a-trout-a-down. Tout-a-tout-a-tout-a-town. Choo-choo-choo-choo-choo-choo. And we hit him in the head with a chicken leg. Nothing. Hanging around and reading the American Scene magazine. I have to go back to that Miss Fairfax column, Mr. Donaghy. That's beautiful. They got a thing in here. Get a load of this. Here, Miss Fairfax. I have an etiquette problem. When you go to a social tea, is it proper to hold a teacup with your pinky fingers sticking out? Signed, Confused. It says, Dear Confused, you should always keep your pinky sticking out, because that's where you hang the wet tea bag. That's beautiful, Donaghy. Huh? Oh, he's in the back. I'll call him out. Hey, Craig!
Hiya, Joe. Hello, Mr. Donaghy. Yeah. Joe, I got a terrific riddle for you. This is terrific. Why didn't anybody talk to the elephant that was sitting around the swimming pool at the hotel?
I give up. Why didn't anybody talk to the elephant that was sitting around the swimming pool at the hotel?
Because they didn't recognize him with his dark glasses on. I got another one. You'll never guess this one, Joe. Why did they have mirrors in all the gum machines? So you can see how you look when the gum don't come out. Joe, you missed a terrific time last week. What a show! The Smiling Sons of the Friendly Shillelaghs put on their semi-annual pageant. Semi-annual, that means once every 2 years. It was called Cleopatra, starring Muriel Bushkirk and Fruity Dooley. Of course, they both used their stage names. The program read, Cleopatra, starring Elizabeth Dooley and Richard Bushkirk. It was terrific. It was directed by Gaylord Farquhar's cousin, Felicia. She's a secret director, Joe. She directs under the name of Cecil B. DeFarquhar. Terrible Temple Tool says Muriel Bushkirk isn't right for the part. In the first place, she's too fat. And she's fat in all the other places, too. But the opening night was terrific, Joe. And Cecil B. DeFarquhar wrote a terrific eulogy condemnating the play. I got a copy of it right here. It's terrific. Opening night by Cecil B. DeFarquhar. It's opening night on Old Broadway, and 1,000,000 lights are blazing on the teeming throngs on the Great White Way. First, the head usher says, enjoy yourself tonight. Then check your coats at the check room, right? The usher leads you in, and you walk down the aisle. She hands you a program with a great big smile. You sit yourself down and scoop yourself up. The officer is in, and they start the tune.